Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm sorry I'm getting on a few minutes late, and I had to push this up 15 minutes because my dog had an accident in the house. So, unexpected things happen all the time. We're not in charge of the environment, but we are in charge of how we deal with what is happening in the environment, which is really what shadow readings are all about, right? So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a message for Scorpio. But if you're new to the channel, know that these are shadow readings. So I like to dive deep within the reading. I look at everything, but it's all about why a person does what they do, why you're attracting that person into your life, and what you can do to shape shift the energy. We do see what would happen if you didn't shape shift the energy, but you're the creator and the alchemist of your life. If there's many different realities that play it at one time, and I'm saying I'm a healer, I should be advising, right? That's the thing. A lot of people don't know why they do what they do. They don't realize that they think certain things, or they've been conditioned through an environment, or they realize that they've been conditioned into an environment. They just don't understand why everything plays out the way that it does. And it's a really uncomfortable feeling because you feel like you don't have any control, where really all the control is within inside of you. The illusion is that you have no control, and an illusion would be there's not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. Any energy that keeps you in an energy of fear, there's really only two energies, love and fear. So those energies don't just stay within the mind, but your body is your mind's faithful servant. So your body is always listening. And that means you store tension. And that makes it really difficult for the chi, the prana, well, spirit is God, to work through you. So your spiritual sovereignty, which gives you supernatural powers, which allows you to create whatever reality that you want to experience. But then you have to say, why am I experiencing the realities that I don't like to experience? Well, we're going to find out. Anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you know where to find it. It's right on in the description box. If you resonate, give it a like. If you like the video, give it a like. It's good, just good karma. And be interactive with the channel. I love it when you guys are. All right, let's see. It's all about you. That's what we look at first. Nobody else, just you. What do you need to know for the day, the week, the month, sometimes even the year, believe it or not, because spirit has no time. And so if we're dealing with a karmic lesson, certain lessons take a long time, and you're going to keep getting that lesson. And that could be, I get people that bully me, or I get people that try to make me feel inadequate, or again put you in this energy. So you might live with that certain karmic pattern for a certain amount of time, where there's other patterns that don't stay for as long. So again, use your discretion. Let's see what spirit wants you to look at, what may be blocking you, what you can do to unblock yourself at this time, because really, again, it's all about the healing. I like to always read these separate, and then I like to read them together. It's just my way. All right. Let's see. Let's pull like that many. No rhyme, no reason. Okay, so Spirit says, first of all, being honest is not always easy, but it is empowering to speak your truth. Nourishing your body with the right foods is healthy, but don't deprive yourself of enjoyment. Take a walk in nature today, consciously connect to Mother Earth. Decision, like it can go either way. Water, music, reading, and being your beautiful, authentic self is your greatest contribution that you can make to the world. So let's just read those first, because it's like me too overwhelming if I read the wounds. So what Spirit is saying is, I see a lot of second chakra issues. And second chakra relates to the water element, your emotional center. So it also represents passion, like your passion for life. So you may say, I don't really know what my passion really is. I have a few options, but I don't really know what that is. And Spirit says, well, again, when you're grounded, it means that you're, connected to your physical body, but it's also the physical world. And why it's saying, well, take a walk out in nature, because nature vibrates at the same level as God. It's universal consciousness. It's the energy that when we are at our most open to receiving clear cognitive clear cognizance, rather, information, is when you're most calm. When you're most calm, you're most open to receiving the divine guidance, that you actually know which direction to go. So is what Spirit's saying. It's like also, you know, being honest. So you might have the opportunity to be with a person, and this is what I'm feeling. It's like, yes, I have feelings for this person, but it's like I also can see a beautiful life without this person. You've gotten to a point within, like, where you are within this healing journey with a person. A lot of times we don't look at a person, but this is unfortunately right on the forefront. So it's not just about you, it's about, your relationship is the overriding energy. Like, what is most that you need to know? And Spirit saying this is about you, like, wanting to, like, find yourself fully, fulfill yourself fully. And and that's about being honest. And being honest, with a person, is not going to be easy, because you're going to feel their emotion. You're going to feel the fact that they're going to be genuine. You're going to feel that. And there was a very deep connection. There was a sense of, but this person stayed away from you. They didn't give you time. They didn't give you energy. Or they didn't give you what you deserve. So being honest is about being honest with yourself. And Spirit's saying, and being your beautiful, authentic self is your greatest contribution. So being with this person, if they're going to make you dummy down or compromise yourself, because hey, they decided to do what they decided to do, meaning I wanted to do what I wanted to do, with the chance that I'm going to come back and apologize, and then you're just going to take me back. Yeah, 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 I know you don't like it, but I don't care. And I feel like that alone is like a fuck you energy, because you're not going to put me on the shelf. Almost like, I want you for later, but I don't want you to move on. And now, hey, they spent so much time away, because that's how karma does. God doesn't like when people do that. The universe says, that's a no-go. You think you're going to do my job and you're going to control somebody? So I feel like this person got held up. And so there's a part of you that's, again, like, it's about you finding your balance in all areas of life. And that is like going out and having fun. It was what Spirit's saying. It's like being grounded and being connecting to your body. You're going to be called to do more things, because you're going to be led through gut intuition. As one door closes, another door opens. Life is happening for you. Part of this person's karma is that they don't get to go along for the ride, for part of what this ride. Whether you decide to take this person back later on, that's whatever. But this person would never treat you with the respect. And that's really, so Spirit is saying, this is about, yes, nourishing your body with healthy foods, but don't deprive yourself of, like, an ice cream if you want to have it, or something else, because understand, when you're going through this spiritual time of change, I feel like it really calls you to have confidence. And it's hard to have confidence because you're walking through spiritual blockages. You're healing certain blockages. And I say that because Spirit's saying this is all about you creating yourself. If you really haven't created yourself at one time, well, you were giving more time to other people, right? Other people, and getting your happiness and fulfillment through that. Where Spirit says it's not about that, it's about doing it for yourself. And part of you is like, you have the opportunity that this person's going to come back, but Spirit's saying it's like, this is not about that. Find your balance within every area of life. So once you get balanced with that and you're not depriving, it's almost like if you try and go on a diet and you don't never have an ice cream or never have a piece of candy, then all of a sudden you binge out. You're going to be more accustomed to like binge out when you have balance. So if you, this applies in all areas of life. So Spirit's saying, so maybe when this person comes back, you, if you do have feelings for them, you could say like, I'll keep you in my life, but I'm not going to let you in my life just yet. Meaning boundaries, a lot of boundaries. Like maybe I'll go out for coffee with you once in a while, but I'm not going to date you. It's like you need to work your way back into my life, is what Spirit's saying. Find balance in every area of life. And music is also therapeutic to you. It helps you transcend your mind because the answers are inside of you. It's about getting strong within yourself. My thing is with this person that I feel like it showed up so deep within the reading right away. It's like Spirit's saying it's like they're a karmic. It doesn't mean that this person doesn't want to step it up. I tell you every single time, past life karmic mates have the potential to step it up to a twin flame or a soul partner in any lifetime. But past life karmic mates are people that usually are like, I don't want to. So again, we don't know. What we know is that if you have strong feelings for this person, Spirit says a lot of times it's not yes or no. It's find it. Find your balance, you know. And so Spirit's saying, you know, breaking repetitive pattern syndrome. So it shows up as feeling stuck in repeating situations or behaviors. Even when you want change, life may loop. And there's nothing more than when you stay connected to people that you shouldn't stay connected to, that will keep you looped. So it's like there's nothing wrong with you, but maybe the fact that you're always the healer, the fixer, that people tend to like pull on your heartstrings, emotionally manipulate you. And I say that because you have a potential to go in a new direction. And this person's coming in. And this person is a karmic. Like you said, we don't know, but the pattern for you is what Spirit's saying. What are those patterns? And because the pattern will be like self-sabotaging. Let's just say every 8 years, an opportunity comes up for you and you miss out. And it's never because of you. It's always because like a person. So it gives you the illusion that like people don't want you to have it or take away from it. But really it's like, it's up to you to, you know, stay centered and focused in what it is. And that means don't let anyone take you off your path. You know, but karmics a lot of times try to, because they're not on the same vibration. They're on a lower vibration, being immature. So they need that emotional reassurance, and they're not going to do it in a positive way because they have too big of an ego. So then here it is. You're in this creative energy of going in a new direction, meaning that spirit source is leading you. Because like I said, you're able to see like, I can actually have a good life without this person. You know, and that's because you've done the work. You have. It doesn't mean you don't have feelings for this person, but it's almost like the aggravation at this point, where Spirit's saying, oh, grounding, deficit. And so understand what does that is obviously all the time we see it. Hair all the time is like the emotional, right? So it shows up as feeling like you're not connected to your physical body, because you're always up in your head. And say that because the next card is hypervigilance. So again, growing up with a person that's like a narcissist. So if you had that wound already, because these are the wounds, a lot of times people come into your life, remember, they activate the wounds that you already have, because the universe brings you what you need. So Spirit's saying, well, you have a hard time like grounding, and when you're hyper vigilant, then what happens, and you're not grounded, you're always reacting from that survival mode. So we see what we look for. So it's not that you're not connected to someone that's shady or has those, you know, energies Like if they want to, when they're bad. When they're good, they're good. But Spirit's saying this is about you. You want to change. And part of changing is not learning not to react. Hypervigilance is you're hyper aware, you're hyper tuned in to what the other person wants and needs. Because at one point, your survival and survival emotionally, maybe you were ignored as a child unless folded the laundry and was a good girl, like, and was, got good grades. And as long as you did whatever it was, or you were a good boy and helped out with repairs around the house. And I know this is real stereotype, but you understand what I'm saying, and did everything that mommy and daddy said that you should, where it's like, we're taught a lot of times that love is conditional, and it's not conscious. Remember, a parent will stonewall you, not talk to you, give you that dirty look when you get a bad grade, or when you disappointed me. No one wants to feel disappointed. These are when these wounds are created. So, but understand, hypervigilance means lived in survival. So we don't know what that is, but we do see what created it. But I can guarantee when we look at the inner child wounds, which we'll do now, we'll see, that it had something to do with support. It had something to do with feeling safe. And so Spirit's saying it's like that's the pattern. That's the pattern. We see what we look for. So the energetic template is fear from being, automatically in a relationship with someone that oppresses you, someone that takes away your energy, and they take away your energy by belittling you. And so it's a little bit like making you question who you are at first, making you question what you're doing. So here it is, if you're on a new direction in life and you're making things happen, and this person needs the constant reassurance, and you're putting more energy into yourself, well, automatically that that's going to be a problem. It's like you don't even need to like do the reading to see that, because you already have the wound of oppression. And how was it done? Well, it was done like with words. And so, again, when we're around a parent that did that, we associate parent with love, even though if a parent isn't nice, that they're supposed to, be the support, the love, the guidance. And so we wind up attracting people that do the same, because that's the emotional trauma. So understand that you become more hyper vigilant. So what this person wants, how to please this person. And Spirit says that's self-sabotaging. It's like, because, you're not focused on yourself. The whole point is that you're here to like not to just be in a relationship with this person. Spirit says you already know. You have like, again, good intuition. So you may know, I know what I have to do, but I'm having a hard time to do it. Hey, Carol, like it, because the heart and the head, I like, you love this person, but this person like is a toxic person. And Spirit says, again, you grew up in that. So you have gifts. So there's opportunities for you. Now, someone may see your light, and again, they think, if I'm with you, well, I get to share some of that. And Spirit says, if you didn't have it, that's not fair that you would have to share it, all because, that abuse. We know that hypervigilance comes from abuse. It doesn't come from just emotional abuse a lot of times either. And by this picture, the kid's pretty beat up. So there's usually physical abuse, there's psychological abuse. It's where the person's really oppressed, they're beaten down. Like in this card, I hate that card. And I hate that card because the person has their foot on their head, and that parent or perceived parent has like the hand on the kid, like, that's okay. That's okay. Like, it's okay. You're better than that person. And so when you grow up in a certain environment where you're being oppressed emotionally and psychologically, well, as a child, you just automatically are going to want to blend to the environment. You want to be loved, you want to be accepted. You become extremely hypervigilant to what other people want, what other people need, and you just do what they want. And then it's like, because hey, that's where it's not like it, like that's how you got emotion. Then you were seen as, oh yeah, thank you. Then you got, maybe someone gave you love for that day or nice that day, and then things went back to the same way. So you became conditioned. And understand, angry parents do this, or parents that, just it was done to them, but then you become very psychic, because obviously, again, you're hyper vigilant, but then now you're going to have problems in understanding who you are, because you're going to be continually navigating your life through like that, and then never being treated nicely, always being treated badly, saying, well, I'm always the person that gives, I'm always the person that shows up, I'm always the person that does the right thing, I never get treated the right way. And God says that's the problem. It's to do that for yourself. People need to earn that. Doesn't mean you can't be nice, but being so available and consistent, is boring. And understand, person hasn't earned it, so there's usually like an issue. If someone suppressed you, oppressed you rather, then it's like you aren't allowed to like find yourself fully. Because again, hypervigilance was, I cared more about what was happening in my environment to survive. And so it meant it's not safe to be vulnerable. And I can't be vulnerable because it's not about my needs. It's about those people's needs. I don't matter. They matter. That's when you grow up in hypervigilance due to abuse, this type of abuse, to the point that it keeps playing out as karmic themes within the relationship. And that's why, you attracted a person that, like it's like has a lot of patterns too, where this is saying you have the opportunity to break the karmic cycle, break the karmic contract that continues to play out. That's a big deal. Otherwise you enter back into a cycle with someone, and that's why it's a new direction. I feel like your higher self knows that. It's like I have feelings, but this person hasn't healed themselves enough, is what I feel. Let's see what the cards have to say, because that's just me. So we're gonna look at like just do like you know, regular cards, like not wound cards or anything like that. Not healing cards. Just where is this person? What's going on? I'm afraid of losing you. You are the first person to make me feel this way. Like I said, every lifetime, person has the opportunity to step it up. I'm battling inner demons. So I ran away to avoid facing my problems, and I have a habit of running away to face. So I feel like what has happened is you cut your energy off from this person. And it's because you're like, I'm starting to see I can go in another direction. I would be really happy without this person. And I'm starting to see this person in ways that I never looked at. At one time, I always thought I would be with this person, to the point that this person became very sure of themselves. Now they're not sure of themselves. So they're like, I want to come back. I don't want to lose this connection. However, the way that they've learned how to deal with life is they don't deal with it. They avoid it. They run away. And they have whatever they're battling. It's good. It's just their big ego. What else are they battling? Usually when a person's out of balance, that's what you see. You see a lot of other behaviorisms. Like, I wish I could give you more. So I almost feel like this person's not in a good space. And that's probably why they're battling inner demons. We're going to look into that question too, but I wanted to see, please be patient with me. You make me want to be a better person. I want to work things out. Can we start over? So it's almost like this person, I feel like, there's a part of them that's like, I want to come back, but this is a way that I've always learned how to deal with situations, running away from facing the problems. And I feel like they thought maybe because, like I said, there was a part of them that was like, I was really sure no matter what, I was going to be in this connection with you. Like, no matter what, like, I wouldn't have to put in any effort. I wouldn't have to, apologize. I would just take a little break and I would come back and and that's not what's happened. What's happened is it's created a lot of space to the point where you're like, again, I can go in a completely different way without you. I don't need you. And I could be really happy. And that scares the shit out of this person to the point it is making them look at themselves because they were so sure of themselves, is what I'm feeling. And with you, you're like, I put in a lot of time. I really did love this person. Like, there was no denying that there was a strong connection between both of you. So it was like almost like it was a guaranteed thing. This person took it for granted. And that's really what it was. It's like they wanted to dominate. You get tired of living the illusions. You felt like this person again, like it was like running around with other people. They wanted, again, but here it is. They wanted to be with you, but they didn't really want to, and they didn't want you to move on. And they didn't expect that you would move on. And that's the thing. And what they realized is you've moved on because you had enough of their abuse. And you're like, you had a hard time of letting go of the past and you're realizing this. And the fear is associated with it. So they continue to manifest as chaos within the relationship. And that's the same thing for this person because like goes to like. So I feel like this person has attachment issues for whatever reason, but with you, you're like, I keep reliving that. People like that come into my life. And spirit says, yeah, because of the hypervigilance. You keep training people that you're going to be, that you do everything for them, that they don't then ever have to think about you. You're too reliable. You're too nice. You're too, like, when it's like that, where you're like, I'm just trying to treat people the way I want to be treated. And spirit says, but you didn't get anything. So if you were in a desert and you'd be like, I'm so thirsty, and no matter how much water you would drink, you probably never quench your thirst. And it's like, because you're in the desert, you haven't had anything. It's like where other people have gotten, they didn't grow up where they had to be tapped in to survive. The child, like you said, wants to be loved. Love and getting that emotional support the children need it just the same way as a baby needs to be held. It psychologically needs to happen. Otherwise, it creates trauma of the mind. I'm not loved. I'm not good enough. I have to give of my energy in order to be safe, in order to be included, in order to not be forgotten about, in order to be. And so people sense that. And they sense it by you being overly nice, overly giving, too tapped in to the other person. And spirit says, so that's the trauma because you're holding on to those habits and those behaviorisms. And it's because that you already felt forgotten about. Like you don't matter. You don't matter. And spirit says, but you have to show that you matter. You have to show that you matter. Otherwise, what happens is that you get judged for being nice and deal with people that withdraw from you. And spirit's saying it's like, because, hey, it's like, I'm not going to be respectful to you. So then it's almost like I need to be in this subservient relationship, which is very oppressive, psychologically and emotionally, which, hey, that person would have put you right back into that energy. And they still can put you back into that energy if they haven't done all the healing. And that's really what Spirit's saying, because hey, they come back all they want. But, you know, you shouldn't make it easy, because like they created habits and behaviorisms of what they think. And what we see is, in order for you to feel satisfied, you'd have to see changed behavior. And that's not going to happen by you being too nice. You know, this person expects, well, you give me a little hard time, but eventually you'll let me back in. Kind of like a parent that says, you're grounded for 2 weeks. And the kid's like, yeah, they'll hold for it for like this weekend, but I'll be out by next weekend. You know, because I'll make them feel bad. I'll walk around, I'll pout. You know, you know, like I won't talk to my parent. You know, they ask me a question, like, you know, the ways that kids do, to be like, oh, yeah, I'm upset with the fact that you're grounding me because I was bad, because I want to go to the party on Saturday. It wasn't really a big deal that I went to gym class. Who fucking cares that I smoked a cigarette? Get over it. You know, I mean, this is how kids think. So, you know, where Spirit's saying, it's like everyone has to pay their karma. And what this person decided to do is they decided to be lazy. They just decided to be lazy. There was no real reason why they did what they did. It's like, oh, I just don't really have to. And like, I don't really have that maybe like enough money. And of course, if they're running around with other people and they're getting stuff from those people, well, they're, you know, have to spend money on those people. And so it's like, well, they're going to have sex with me, or I'm going to get X, Y, and Z from them. You're not going to give me any of that. So remember, like they would have had to step it up to twin flame level. You didn't get this person because this is your energy. You got this energy because it was a test. Like, yes, there was a deep soul connection, but are you going to go back into a situation and abandon yourself for someone else's needs? Or are you going to be true to yourself? You know, and that's really what it is, because this person at the end of the day chose to be lazy, and there's like, it's empty. And yes, they're going to be completely sad by it. And to the point that I feel like this person does like to drink to not deal with their trauma. And so it might not be drinking, but it was smoking. And this was self sabotaging behavior. This is their karmic cycle, because they had a blessing and they shit all over it. Excuse my French, but that's what they did. They didn't value it. And so they were so sure of themselves. So now what they see is not so sure. And for you, it's about knowing that, yeah, they're going to come back, but don't confuse overstimulation for love, because this person knows who you are, knows that you're a kind person, and is going to like try and pull on those heartstrings. But they did what they did. And I don't think that you would be able to 100% forgive them unless unless you saw a different version of them. And what I think is, this person be consistent? Well, could this person be consistent? I feel like, you know what? They be I hate to say this, but I just feel like it's mismatch class. Like, you have different ideas about what love and intimacy and a relationship should be, to what they do. You know, you want to create the emotional intimacy. You want to create trust. You want to create, this person is more about the show, you know, and that's, so it doesn't mean that they don't have a connection to you, but if it's a soul twin flame connection, they have to step it up and remain at a high vibration. And I just feel like you always feel like this person has like other things going on in the back of their mind, like some agenda, like, what are you going to get? Or what do you want? Or can I fully trust you? And again, the different ideas of what love and intimacy are like, and that's because this person isn't mature. So It's like, would they try? Yeah, but their idea of trying and your idea of trying are two different things. And that's the thing that you have to realize when you're dealing with a person on a different vibration from you. When they're, that kind of like this, they were lazy. They had you right there. They come back into your life, and if you didn't give him really hard time or her really hard time, like of getting back into your life, like a year, 2 years, like literally working hard to get back into your life and building trust, you would never trust this person. This person would fall back off the wagon and become who they are, is what Spirit's saying. Because, hey, they're used to navigating this way. It tends to be, again, the superficial. It's like they care a lot about what it looks like from the outside and what being with a person looks like, like the type of relationship. But the relationship would be like on again, off again, on again, off again. Like we make up to break up, we make up to break up. And that's very consuming, extremely consuming, because there's so much drama in the connection. And that's how this person creates like things that's normal. And that's not a normal relationship. That's a codependent relationship. That's where the person needs constant reassurance, and they don't try to get the reassurance through healthy ways. Like if you want reassurance, take the person out to dinner, take the person to the movies, take the person for a walk. No, what this person's going to do is they're going to create drama, and you have to fight for their connection because they're going to do something. And that's, detach, not deal with it. It's like, and that's the issue. So again, would they come back? Yeah, they would come back, and and in their mind, they would think that they would try. But what I feel like you already know this. It's like and that's the thing. Spirit's saying, go the opposite direction. It's like part of their karma is that, you know. Just have to see how to alchemize this energy. What do we, because when there is a lot of passion and this was a connection, it's not like it wasn't a connection, but you have to like do something with that energy, because it's not like you can just get rid of it. It's like you learn the lesson of why it happened, how you contributed to the dynamics of the connection, and then Spirit says, now what are you going to do, like, or what was it for? We have to know that. And Spirit says, number one, it was about releasing the limited beliefs that no longer serve you, to free yourself. So being hypervigilant and continuously tapping into other people's to, feel safe and to be liked. And, it's because you don't like yourself. Again, you're able to see a future that you're like going to embrace because you're starting to like yourself. And and that happened once you got this person out of your life. And that's really what it is. And Spirit said, you showed fierce strength. That was a big deal. This person was someone that was emotionally, going to test you every step of the way, because they thought, well, I don't need to do anything, where, what you learned the deep wisdom from that experience of saying, like, you just showed me who you are. So I actually don't need to go through this experience, because I already can see you're not going to give me anything. And that's why I'm starting to see a different way to go without you. And Spirit says, yeah, because again, the brighter horizons, where it's like you're seeing your own genius, your own worth, new opportunities are coming into your life, new situations. And this person is terrified of that. You better believe it, because they always saw your potential. It was about this person was being lazy. And Spirit says it's about you again being able to like see yourself like as a powerful, successful human being that's loved, that's accepted, that again, that doesn't need to like be, utilize your energy to make someone else happy. You don't need to give up your spot on the line, per se, for someone else's comfort. for your happiness, you should want to make yourself happy now, is what Spirit's saying. Because this person, you better believe they see all your potential and everything that's going to happen, and their fear strength. And it's like they feel like they don't really have to do anything, too. And that's a person should want to do it. That's the problem. If you're with a person that's like, oh, you know what, I don't have to do it, then that's not your person, because that's not what we're supposed to do. Spirit says, you know what, and maybe there's not anybody that's in your area. So why don't you go into the unknown? Like go out into different environments, meet different people, experience new things. It's about living more. And when you raise your vibration even more, well, then you align like your, actions with your true desires, so like what you want to become, doing what you love, and filling yourself up with passion. Then it automatically happens that you attract someone because you're like, I wasn't even looking for it. And Spirit says yes, because it's all about alchemizing that fear, where really when you're so afraid and you're tapped into other people and doing what they want, they're robbing you of your energy. And not just robbing you of your energy, but then over time, listen, anybody would get smart and say, hey, I'm the one that's giving, but then what the person is going to do is they're going to gaslight, and they're going to, create that narrative to overstimulate you, to make you feel as if, to gaslight you, to make you feel as if it's wrong. Where Spirit says, this person's not on a high enough vibration. It's not that they don't have feelings, they do, but they're a past life karmic mate that you'll get to again meet them in a next lifetime, and maybe they will raise the bar a little bit. But as far as now, part of you alchemizing the negative energy is to say goodbye to this person and to actually choose that new direction, one that's going to let you step into the person that you're meant to be, to alchemize that energy. Otherwise, like you said, you stay with this person, they're going to keep you. It's in that energy, and you're out of that energy, but they will put you right back in, is what Spirit's saying. Because, hey, they only know how to be how they are, and they haven't done any real true work on themselves. Transformation. Again, so Spirit says, know that you're constantly evolving, that you improve inwardly by working on your weaknesses and you refine your strength. Life ensures that you're going to be presented with the situations that are going to be best to help you learn and grow, that you're aware of your progress and you open your wings to light. And the next message is just be present. Don't focus on this present person anymore. Be here now. The future doesn't exist and the past is gone. Focus on the present moment. Have the confidence in life again, because here and now there is no danger. Everything happens when your soul is ready. And so all you have to do is become yourself. That's all you have to do. And Spirit says this situation was to help you again transform that negative energy. So when you go on a new path completely, you're not going to recreate that, karmic loop. That's what's going to happen. You're breaking that karma, whether it's family karma, whether or not, sometimes our parents grew up in such abusive environments where they became hypervigilant. So then they raised you where they have a ton of anxiety and they really didn't mean to create that hypervigilance. It doesn't matter whether they meant to or they didn't. The issue is still the same, that to heal, to evolve. All right, I'm going to leave that there. If you resonated, give it a like, comment, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.